Started crying because the forensic accountant standing behind me said, "Your daughter also opened 11 credit cards in your name." My name is Elena Vasquez and I'm sitting at my mother's dining room table listening to my older sister Christina perform what she does best, playing the victim while destroying my reputation. "You've never been there for this family," Christina announces to the assembled relatives. Mom, our Aunt Rosa, Uncle Miguel and Christina's husband Derek. "The rest of us sacrifice, we help each other, we struggle together. But you just sit in your fancy apartment, living your perfect life, pretending we don't exist." I say nothing. I'm holding a manila folder in my lap. It's thick, professionally bound, and contains 6 months of work from a forensic accountant named Patricia Wong. Christina doesn't know this yet. She will in about 3 minutes. If you've ever been the family ATM while being accused of selfishness, hit that like button and subscribe right now. You're not going to want to miss what happened next. Let me take you back 5 years to where this really started. I was 27 working as a project manager at a tech company in Austin. Good salary, not extraordinary but comfortable. I'd moved to Texas right after college, built a career, created a life separate from the family drama that had defined my childhood in Phoenix. Christina was 32, married to Derek, a construction worker with ambition but inconsistent employment. They had 2 kids, lived in a rental house 20 minutes from Mom, and were always one emergency away from financial disaster. That's when the calls started. "Elena, I hate to ask, but Jaden needs braces and our insurance won't cover it. Could you help with maybe $2,000? I'll pay you back." She didn't pay me back. "Elena, Derek's truck broke down and he needs it for work. Could you loan us $3,000? Just until his next job starts." She didn't pay that back either. "Elena, the landlord raised our rent and we're short this month. Could you cover the difference? Just $800. I promise this is the last time." It wasn't the last time. At first I told myself I was helping family. That's what you do, right? Christina was struggling, Mom was on a fixed income and I had the means to help. Felt like the right thing to do. But the requests never stopped. And they were always urgent, always presented as one-time emergencies, always accompanied by promises of repayment that never materialized. By 2019, I'd given Christina approximately $48,000. She'd repaid zero. That's when I made a decision. I set up a monthly payment. $3,200, transferred automatically on the 1st of every month to Christina's account. No more emergency calls. No more guilt trips. Just consistent, reliable support. "This is to help with rent, utilities, and kid expenses," I told Christina when I set it up. "I'm doing this because I love you and I want my niece and nephew to be stable. But this is it. No more emergency requests." "Oh my God, Elena, you're saving us," Christina said, crying. "I don't know how to thank you. Just use it for the kids and the bills. That's all I ask." For 6 months everything was fine. The money transferred. Christina posted on Facebook about how blessed she was. Life seemed stable. Then the request started again. "Elena, I know you're already helping, but Derek's mom is sick and we need to fly to Ohio. Could you cover the flights? Just $1,200. Elena, Sophia's school is doing a trip to Washington, D.C. and all her friends are going. We can't be the only family that can't afford it. Could you help with $900? Elena, our car needs new tires and we literally can't drive without them. Could you send $500? Every request came with justification. Every request came with guilt. Every request came with the implication that if I said no, I was selfish, uncaring, prioritizing myself over family. I said yes more often than I should have. By 2023, I'd given Christina approximately $245,000 over 4.5 years. The monthly payments alone totaled $173,000. The emergency requests totaled another $72,000. $250,000. And Christina still complained that I never helped the family. Mom believed her. Aunt Rosa believed her. The entire family narrative became, Elena has money and won't share it. Christina and Derek are struggling while Elena lives selfishly in Texas. The breaking point came 6 months ago. I was visiting Phoenix for Mom's birthday. Family dinner, nothing fancy, just everyone gathering at Mom's house. Christina arrived late, making a dramatic entrance about how hard it was to get there because their car was falling apart and they couldn't afford repairs. I'd literally sent her $3,200 4 days earlier. Elena, Christina said, settling into her chair with a martyr's sigh, it must be nice to not have to worry about money. Some of us aren't so lucky. I looked at her. What do you mean? Just that you've always had it easy. Good job, no kids, no responsibilities. Meanwhile, Derek and I are drowning trying to provide for our family. Christina, I send you a little help here and there, I know. And I appreciate it. But it's not like you're really sacrificing anything. You still have your nice apartment, your new car, your vacations. My vacation that year had been 4 days in San Antonio. Hers had been 2 weeks in Cancun. I'd seen the Facebook photos. But I didn't say anything. I never said anything. That was my mistake. The lies got worse. Christina told Aunt Rosa that I'd refused to help with Jaden's medical bills. I'd paid $4,000 for those bills. She told Uncle Miguel that I'd missed Sophia's birthday because I couldn't be bothered. I'd sent a $500 gift and called from Texas to sing happy birthday. She was rewriting history, casting herself as the struggling single mother, despite being married, and me as the selfish sister who'd abandoned the family. Mom started believing it. Elena, I know you're busy with your career, but family should come first. Christina really needs more support right now. I was already sending Christina $38,400 a year. That's when I hired Patricia Wong. Patricia was a forensic accountant who specialized in financial exploitation cases. She'd been recommended by a friend who'd gone through something similar with a sibling. I need documentation, I told Patricia during our first meeting. Every dollar I've sent, every request, every promise of repayment. All of it. Do you suspect fraud? Patricia asked. I suspect I'm being lied about. I need proof of the truth. Patricia was thorough. She pulled bank records, transfer receipts, text message logs, Facebook messages, emails. She documented every transaction, categorized every expense, cross-referenced every claim Christina had made against actual evidence. Took her 3 months. What she found was worse than I'd imagined. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from tonight. The report was 147 pages long. Professional, detailed, devastating. Section 1. Financial support provided. Monthly transfers. $3,200 x 55 months equals $176,000. Emergency requests. 47 separate payments totaling $69,000. Direct payments to vendors. Medical, school, utilities $23,400. Total support provided. $245,000. Section 2. Repayment received. Total. $0. Section 3. Claimed versus actual need. This section was illuminating. Patricia had cross-referenced Christina's requests against her social media posts and credit card statements, which Christina had stupidly used my address for when she'd opened accounts, giving Patricia legal access through the fraud investigation. Christina claimed she couldn't afford school supplies. She'd spent $800 at Sephora that same week. Christina claimed they were behind on rent. They'd booked a cruise. Christina claimed Jaden's medical bills were bankrupting them. They'd bought a boat. A boat. Section 4. Identity theft and fraud. This was the section that changed everything. Patricia had found 11 credit cards opened in my name. Total balance. $167,000. The cards had been opened over 3 years, using my social security number, my address, and forged signatures. They'd been used for everything from furniture to vacations to cash advances. The payments had been made sporadically, mostly minimum payments, tanking my credit score. I'd noticed my credit score dropping 2 years ago but assumed it was an error. I'd been meaning to investigate but kept putting it off. Patricia hadn't put it off. She'd traced every card to applications filled out from Christina's IP address. She'd found selfies Christina had posted on Facebook wearing jewelry purchased on my fraudulently obtained credit. She'd documented everything. Section 5. Legal options. Patricia laid out my options clearly. File criminal charges for identity theft, felony 1 to 5 years prison. File civil suit for restitution, $167,000 plus damages. Report to credit bureaus and creditors. Destroy the fraudulent accounts. Demand repayment privately with legal threat. Cut contact and absorb the loss. She recommended options 1, 2, and 3 simultaneously. I chose to give Christina one chance first. One family dinner. One opportunity to tell the truth. That brings us to tonight. I'm sitting at Mom's table holding the folder, listening to Christina perform her greatest hits of victimhood. We're about to lose our house, she's saying now, voice trembling with practiced emotion. Derek's been working every job he can find, I'm doing everything I can, and we still can't make it. Meanwhile, Elena sends maybe a couple $100 here and there when she feels like it. $200 here and there. Aunt Rosa looks at me with disappointment. Elena, Miji, you have to help your sister. Family is everything. Uncle Miguel nods. Your mother raised you better than this. Mom won't meet my eyes. She's clutching her rosary, probably praying for me to stop being so selfish. Derek is silent, staring at his plate. He knows something's coming. He's not stupid. Christina's building to her finale. I don't ask for much. I never have. I work hard, I sacrifice for my kids, I do everything right. And my own sister can't even. $3,200, I say quietly. Christina stops mid-sentence. What? $3,200. That's what I send you every month. Automatically. On the first of the month. I've been doing it since January 2019. The table goes silent. That's not, Christina stammers. I open the folder and pull out the first document. Bank transfer records highlighted, dated, categorized. 55 months of payments. That's $176,000 in monthly support alone. I slide it across the table to Mom. Here's every transfer. Date, amount, confirmation number. Mom picks it up with shaking hands. Her eyes go wide. But that's not all, I continue, pulling out the next section. 47 emergency requests over the same period. Braces, car repairs, medical bills, rent, school trips, Christmas presents, Easter expenses, back-to-school shopping, Derek's tools, the kids' birthday parties. $69,000 in one-time payments. I slide that across to Aunt Rosa. And then there are the direct vendor payments. The times you gave me account numbers and I paid your electric bill, your water bill, Jaden's orthodontist, Sophia's dance classes. $23,400 paid directly to service providers. Uncle Miguel takes that page, scanning it in disbelief. Which brings us to a total of $245,000 in financial support I've provided to Christina over the last 4.5 years. Christina's face has gone from red to white. Elena, you can't just what? Can't just document the truth? Can't just prove that your entire narrative is a lie? I pull out another section. Because this is interesting. This is Patricia Wong's analysis of your claimed need versus your actual spending. I start reading. May 2021. Claimed you couldn't afford groceries. Requested $500 for food. That same week you spent $1,200 at a luxury spa resort. June 2022. Claimed Jaden's medical bills were overwhelming. Requested $4,000. 2 weeks later you bought a boat for $8,000. Should I continue? That boat was Derek's. October 2023. Claimed you were 3 months behind on rent and facing eviction. I sent you $9,600. You weren't behind on rent. Your landlord confirmed you were current. You used the money to renovate your kitchen. Mom's rosary falls from her hands. Christina, please tell me this isn't true. Christina's eyes are filling with tears. The real kind this time, not the performative ones. It's not what it sounds like. It's exactly what it sounds like, I say. I have documentation of every lie, every exaggeration, every manipulation. For 4.5 years, you've told this family that I'm selfish while I've been sending you the equivalent of a full-time salary. Hit that subscribe button if you've ever had to prove the truth to family who refused to believe you, because what happened next was beautiful. Derek stands up. I'm going outside. Sit down, I say. It's not loud, but it's commanding. You're going to want to hear this next part. He sits. I pull out the final section. The one that Patricia hand delivered to me with a warning. This is going to destroy your relationship with your sister permanently. Make sure you're ready for that. I'm ready. Section 4, I announce. Identity theft and fraud. Christina's face goes gray. 11 credit cards, I continue. Opened in my name using my social security number, forged signatures. Total balance of $167,000. All traced back to your IP address, your devices, your spending patterns. I slide the evidence across the table. Patricia had included screenshots of the applications, spending records, and, the killing blow, Facebook photos of Christina wearing items purchased on the fraudulent cards, tagged with dates that matched the purchase dates. Mom picks up the document with shaking hands. Christina, tell me you didn't. Christina is crying now. Full breakdown, mascara running, hands shaking. I was going to pay it back. I was going to fix it. We were just so desperate, and Elena had good credit, and I thought. You thought you'd commit identity theft, I finish. A felony. One that's destroyed my credit score, cost me a car loan I couldn't get last year, and has subjected me to collections calls for debts I didn't create. Aunt Rosa stands up. Elena Mija, she's your sister. Surely you can work this out. Work it out. I turn to her. She's stolen $167,000 from me. She spent 4.5 years telling everyone I'm selfish while I've been supporting her family with $250,000. She's lied to Mom, to you, to everyone. What exactly should I work out? Family forgives, Aunt Rosa says weakly. Family doesn't commit felonies against each other. There's a knock at the door. Everyone jumps. I stand up. That'll be Patricia. Who? Mom asks. Patricia Wong. The forensic accountant who prepared this report. She's here to witness this conversation and to serve as a professional third party for what happens next. I open the door. Patricia walks in, professional, in a gray suit carrying a briefcase. She's 63, has testified in over 200 fraud cases and doesn't suffer bullies. Good evening, Patricia says calmly. I'm Patricia Wong, certified forensic accountant. I've been hired by Ms. Vasquez to document and analyze her financial relationship with her sister Christina. She sets her briefcase on the table and opens it. I'm here to confirm that everything in this report is accurate and admissible as evidence in both criminal and civil proceedings. Derek's head drops into his hands. Patricia continues, her voice professional and devastating. In addition to the identity theft charges, which carry a potential sentence of 1 to 5 years in prison, I've also discovered evidence of wire fraud, the use of electronic transfers under false pretenses. That's a federal crime. Federal. Mom whispers. Yes, ma'am. When Ms. Christina Vasquez requested funds for purposes she knew to be false, claiming medical emergencies that didn't exist, rent arrears that weren't real, expenses that were fabricated, and received those funds via electronic transfer across state lines, that constitutes wire fraud. Christina is sobbing. Elena, please. Please don't do this. Think of Jaden and Sophia. I am thinking of them, I say quietly. I've been thinking of them for 4.5 years. That's why I sent the money. That's why I kept helping even when you never paid me back. That's why I stayed silent when you lied about me. So why now? Christina manages. Why are you doing this now? Because you couldn't stop lying. You had to make me the villain at every family gathering. You had to poison Mom against me. You had to make me out to be selfish and cruel when I've been keeping your family afloat. My voice stays level. Come. You mistook my silence for weakness. You mistook my generosity for stupidity. You mistook strategy for surrender. Patricia pulls out another document. I also found something else during my investigation. Christina looks up, terrified. You've been claiming your children as dependents on your taxes while also claiming them for EITC benefits. However, you've also been receiving child support from a previous relationship, Jaden's biological father, that you've never reported to the IRS or to the state benefits office. That's tax fraud and benefits fraud. Mom actually gasps. Christina, you told us Jaden's father was dead. He's not. Christina can't form sentences. Patricia closes her briefcase. Ms. Vasquez, I need to inform everyone present that I'm legally obligated to report the tax fraud and benefits fraud to the appropriate authorities. The identity theft and wire fraud are your decision to prosecute or not. The room falls silent except for Christina's crying. I look at my sister. Really look at her. The golden child who could never do wrong. The struggling mother who was actually committing multiple felonies. The victim who was the perpetrator all along. Here's what's going to happen, I say. Patricia is going to file the required reports on the tax and benefits fraud. That's out of my hands. It's her legal obligation. Christina's sobs get louder. As for the identity theft and wire fraud, I'm giving you one choice. One chance to avoid criminal prosecution. Anything, Christina says desperately. Anything, Elena, please. You're going to sign a confession. A full, detailed confession admitting to the identity theft, the fraudulent credit cards, the wire fraud, and every lie you've told about me. Patricia's going to notarize it. It'll be legally binding. Yes. I'll sign it. You're going to work with the credit card companies to transfer the debt to your name. All $167,000. You're going to set up payment plans. You're going to repair my credit. Patricia will oversee the entire process. I can't, we don't have. You have a boat, I say flatly. Sell it. You have expensive furniture. Sell it. You have a closet full of designer bags. Sell them. You're going to liquidate every unnecessary asset and put it toward this debt. Derek finally speaks. We'll do it. We'll sell everything. And, I continue, you're going to attend every single family gathering for the next year and tell the truth. Not a summary. Not a vague apology. The full truth about every lie you told about me. About the $250,000 I gave you. About the crimes you committed. Everything. Elena, that's the deal. You do all of that and I won't press criminal charges for the identity theft and wire fraud. You don't, and Patricia has already prepared the criminal complaints. We'll file them tomorrow morning. Christina looks at Derek. He nods slowly. I'll do it, Christina whispers. Good. I pull out one more document. There's also this. It's a cease and desist letter prepared by my attorney. Effective immediately, you will cease all contact with me except as required for the debt repayment and credit repair process. No calls. No texts. No social media messages. No showing up at my apartment. If you need to communicate something, it goes through Patricia. You're cutting me off? Mom says, her voice breaking. I'm setting boundaries, I correct. Christina has proven she can't be trusted with my money, my credit, my information, or my reputation. I'm protecting myself. Patricia pulls out a pen and the confession document. If you're ready to sign, Miss Cristina Vasquez, we can begin the process now. Christina takes the pen with shaking hands. She signs. Patricia notarizes it, makes 3 copies and hands one to Christina, one to me, and keeps one for her files. The credit repair process will begin Monday, Patricia says. I'll be in touch with account numbers and payment plan options. Ms. Vasquez, do you have anything else? No. We're done here. Patricia nods professionally and leaves. The silence that follows is deafening. Mom is staring at Christina like she's seeing her for the first time. How could you do this? To your own sister. I'm sorry, Christina sobs. I'm so sorry. We were desperate and it snowballed and I couldn't. You were never desperate, I say quietly. You were entitled. You thought you deserved my money because I had it and you wanted it. You thought you could take whatever you wanted because I was too nice to stop you. I stand up and collect my folders. Elena, wait, Mom says. Please don't leave like this. Like what, Mom? Like the selfish daughter you've spent 5 years believing I was. I look at her. You never once asked for my side of the story. You never once questioned Christina's version of events. You just assumed I was the problem. I didn't know. You didn't ask. There's a difference. I walk toward the door. Aunt Rosa tries one more time. Elena, she's still your sister. Family is. Family is not unconditional, I interrupt. Family is earned. Christina didn't just betray my trust. She committed crimes against me for years while convincing all of you that I was the villain. That's not family. That's exploitation with a genetic connection. I open the door. Will I ever see you again? Mom asks, crying. I pause. That depends on you. If you can acknowledge what actually happened here, not make excuses for Christina, not minimize the fraud, not ask me to forgive and forget, then maybe. But if you're going to defend her, enable her, or pressure me to work it out, then no. That's harsh, Uncle Miguel says. No, I say. Harsh was committing $167,000 in identity theft. Harsh was lying about me for years. Harsh was destroying my credit while taking my money. What I'm doing. This is just boundaries. If you've ever had to walk away to save yourself, tell me your story in the comments. What would you have done? I left Mom's house and drove to my hotel. I wasn't staying with family this trip. I'd learned that lesson. My phone started ringing within 10 minutes. Mom, please come back so we can talk about this properly. Aunt Rosa, you're being too hard on your sister. Uncle Miguel, think of the children. I blocked all of them temporarily. I needed space. The only call I answered was from Derek 2 hours later. Elena, he said, his voice rough. I didn't know about all of it. The credit cards, the lies about you. I knew we were getting help from you, but I didn't know the extent, and I sure as hell didn't know about the fraud. Okay. I'm not making excuses for Christina. What she did was wrong. Unforgivable. He took a breath. But I'm going to make this right. The boat's already listed. I'm selling my truck and getting something cheaper. We're liquidating everything we can. Good. And I'm getting Christina into therapy. Real therapy. And probably marriage counseling for us because I don't know if we survive this. That's between you two. I know. I wanted you to know that I'm taking this seriously. The kids ask about you. They love their Aunt Elena. I don't want them to lose you because their mother's a criminal. That hit harder than I expected. Tell them I love them too. Tell them this has nothing to do with them. I will. And Elena? Thank you for not pressing charges. A lot of people would have. I still might if Christina doesn't follow through. She will. I'll make sure of it. He hung up. The next 3 months were a masterclass in consequences. Patricia filed the required reports on the tax and benefits fraud. The IRS launched an investigation. The state benefits office opened their own case. Christina hired a tax attorney and was negotiating a repayment plan that would take her 15 years to complete. The credit cards were being transferred to Christina's name one by one. Her credit score was destroyed. She'd never get a decent loan again. The boat sold. The furniture sold. The designer bags went to a consignment shop. Christina got a part-time job at Target to help with the debt payments. Derek took a second job. They downgraded their house, moving to a smaller rental to save money. And Christina attended family gatherings and told the truth. I didn't go to those gatherings, but Mom called me after each one. She told everyone about the credit cards. Mom said after the first one. About the lies. About all the money you gave her. Elena, I'm so ashamed I didn't believe you. Okay. Can you forgive me? Eventually. Not yet. It was honest. We were both trying. 6 months after the confrontation, Christina sent me a letter. Handwritten, 8 pages long. It started with, I don't expect you to read this. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just need to say it all in my own hands so maybe someday you'll know I actually understood what I did. She detailed every lie, every manipulation, every justification she told herself. She owned all of it. She didn't make excuses. She didn't blame Derek or the kids or financial pressure. I was entitled, she wrote. I grew up as the favorite and I learned that I could get away with things you couldn't. I learned that my problems were more important than yours. I learned that you would always give in eventually. And I used that. I exploited it. I exploited you. The last page said, I know I destroyed our relationship. I know you'll never trust me again. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I want you to know that I'm changing. Not for you, I don't have the right to ask anything of you. For myself. For my kids. For Derek, who deserves a better wife than a criminal. I'm in therapy 3 times a week. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm paying back every cent even if it takes decades. Not because of the legal threat. Because it's right. You taught me what integrity looks like by having it when I had none. Thank you for that. Even if you hate me forever, thank you. I cried reading it. Not forgiving tears. Grief tears. For the sister I'd never really had. For the relationship that was built on lies. For the family that had believed those lies. But I also felt something like hope. Not for reconciliation. For her. For the possibility that she might actually become someone worth knowing. I didn't respond to the letter. Not yet. Maybe someday. A year after the confrontation, I had coffee with Mom. Just the 2 of us. She flew to Austin, insisted on staying at a hotel, was careful with every word. I failed you, she said. I enabled Christina's worst behaviors since she was a child. I made excuses for her. I expected you to be the responsible one, the one who gave and gave and gave while letting her take and take and take. Yes, I agreed. You did. I'm trying to be better. With Christina, with you, with myself. She pulled out her own folder. I started therapy too. This is what my therapist calls a repair plan. I took it. It outlined specific behaviors she was changing, specific ways she was working on our relationship, specific boundaries she was learning to maintain. I'm not asking for immediate forgiveness, Mom said. I'm asking for a chance to earn back your trust. Fully. With actions, not just words. I can work with that, I said. We talked for 2 hours. Real talk. About my childhood, about favoritism, about the patterns that had broken our family. It wasn't comfortable. She cried 3 times. But it was real. Can I ask you something? Mom said as we were leaving. Sure. Why did you keep giving Christina money even when she never paid you back? Even when she lied? I thought about it. Because I loved my niece and nephew. Because I didn't want them to suffer for their mother's problems. Because I hoped that if I was generous enough, eventually Christina would see it and change. But she didn't. No. She saw it as weakness. As something she could exploit. I smiled sadly. I learned that love without boundaries isn't love. It's enabling. And I enabled her for years. What changed? I decided my self-respect was worth more than her approval. That the truth was worth more than family peace. That I'd rather be alone than be exploited. I looked at Mom. I stopped being afraid of being the bad guy in her story. Mom hugged me. You were never the bad guy. You were always the hero. I just couldn't see it. 2 years after the confrontation, Jaden graduated from 8th grade. Derek sent me an invitation to the ceremony. I almost didn't go. But then I thought about Jaden, about how none of this was his fault, about how he asked about me according to Derek. I went. I sat in the back. Christina saw me and her face went white, but she didn't approach. She just waved slightly, nervously, and turned back to the ceremony. Afterward, Jaden ran up to me. Aunt Elena. You came. Of course I came. I'm proud of you, kiddo. Mom said you might not because things are complicated. Things are complicated, I agreed. But that doesn't change that I love you and I'm proud of you. He hugged me hard. I miss you. I miss you too. Christina approached slowly, carefully. Thank you for coming. It means everything to Jaden. I came for him. I know. She took a breath. I'm at month 23 of the payment plan. Never missed one. Credits being repaired. Patricia says we're ahead of schedule. Good. Derek and I separated. We're trying to work through things, but it's hard. Therapy's helping. She looked at me. I'm not asking for a relationship. I know I don't get that. I just wanted you to know I'm doing the work. Every day. Even when it's hard. I studied her. She looked different. Older, tired, but also more real somehow. Less performed. Keep doing it, I said. Not for me. For yourself. I will. That was the extent of our conversation. It was enough. 3 years after the confrontation, I'm sitting in my apartment in Austin with a glass of wine, looking at a letter that arrived today. It's from Patricia. Ms. Vasquez. I'm pleased to inform you that as of this month, all fraudulent credit card debt has been transferred to Ms. Cristina Vasquez's name. Your credit report has been fully cleared. Your score has been restored to 798, higher than it was before the fraud began. All payment plans are being met on schedule. I project full debt repayment in 11.4 years at the current rate. This completes my contracted services. It has been an honor to work with you. Regards, Patricia Wong, CPA. I set the letter down and pick up my phone. There's a text from Mom. Having dinner with Aunt Rosa tonight. Want to join us via video call? No pressure. I type back, yes. What time? There's a text from Derek. Jaden made honor roll. Wanted you to know. I send back a heart emoji and congratulations. There's even a text from Christina. Just one line. 3 years sober from lying. One day at a time. Thank you for making me face the truth. I don't respond to that one. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I don't delete it either. I built a life where people have to earn their place in it. Where boundaries are respected. Where the truth matters more than comfort. I lost a sister I never really had. I almost lost a mother. I definitely lost the fantasy of a perfect family. But I gained something more valuable. My self-respect. My truth. My freedom from exploitation. Paper beats promises every single time. And sometimes the family scapegoat turns out to be the only one who understood that love without boundaries isn't love at all. It's just another word for surrender. And I'm done surrendering.